everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today is day 10 of hashtag Art Journal Habit 2018, which is a year, not a year long. Wow. Please don't let it be year long. No, it's a month long daily art journaling challenge with prompt lists brought to you by Art Joy of Sharing Facebook group. The prompt today is elephant, and some of you know I like to watch baking. I like to watch the food channel, Food Network, that has a few baking shows. I like the British baking show. I like to watch baking shows on YouTube, and one of the channels that I watch is called How to Cake It Step by Step, which is a spinoff of the How to Cake It channel, which has Yolanda making all these amazing cute cakes, and then the other channel has other people, and a person in the last week made this cake that was an elephant in a wooden bathtub taking a bubble bath, and I thought it was so cute. It would be so cute for like a baby shower or something, but I don't have any reason to make a cake like this. I don't have any children that are small enough, or grandchildren, or anything like that. But I thought I would pay homage to the cake by making a similar illustration in my art journal, because it is an elephant, and today's prompt is elephant. That was a long, convoluted explanation, but yes. So I started out with my page with a little bit of white gesso on it, and I am doing some tinting, which basically just means to make a pastel color by adding titanium white to it. And I use the Dina Wakely colors, Evergreen, Ocean, and Blushing, and then I added titanium white to those to make a pastel version of it. And I scraped that randomly over the background, covering up, whatever was on that. My art journal is made out of junk mail, and a lot of it is political ads and stuff like that, because they come as a fairly nice weight card, and you can just recycle that into a junk journal for something like this, which is a month-long challenge. And you could go buy a journal if you wanted to, but this is so easy, and I didn't even fancy bind it. I didn't sew it or anything. I didn't make signatures. I just punched some holes and attached it with some cable rings. So easy thing to do. So I do need to cover up those backgrounds, which of course have a lot of junk on them. And so I start out with a little bit of gesso. I gesso several of them at once. And then in this case, I put some random acrylic paint on there, pastel colors. And then now I'm using the stencil for October. I belong to Stencil Club over at Stencil Girl Products, which is a fun thing. You pay a monthly fee. It's kind of like a subscription box, but it's a stencil subscription, and you get a set of exclusive stencils each month. You don't know what you're going to get. They just come, but Stencil Girl Products has such amazing stencils. I don't really care what they are. So I've been in this now for, I think, maybe 6 months or so. I don't know, but it's fun. I look forward to getting my little cardboard envelope every month. And the month of October, pretty sure those were October's stencils, had these like kind of swirly line borders, then this little splatter. The 4x4 was a splatter, and then the 6x6 has some words on it, which I didn't use on the page, but I did use the ribbony, long bordery things, and I did them vertically and horizontally, and then I went over the top of it with some titanium white with the splatter looking pattern, and I'm happy with the background. It's pastel, which is what I wanted. The designer who made this cake did make it very pastel. If I had made the cake, I would have made it in brighter colors. Just saying, I would have, but she didn't. She made it really. I mean, it really looks like something you could take to a baby shower. She didn't take it to a baby shower. She cut a piece out of it and ate it. And the cake was Earl Grey flavored cake with blueberry buttercream. She used dehydrated blueberries and made blueberry buttercream. So, yum, sounded really tasty. So, I am using my Graph Gear 1000 mechanical pencil like usual to make my illustration. I looked at the picture as I was drawing and I just drew it in the way that I see it. It doesn't look exactly like the cake, but it looks the way that I draw. And that's how things come out is, it has all the same elements. I've got the soap and the scrub brush and the rubber ducky and the little mouse and the peanuts, the bubbles and the wooden crate type of or barrel type of a bathtub. All of those things are the same, but it looks more like something that I draw. That's just style coming out or whatever. So then once I was happy with my pencil drawing, I used a medium nib and then a small nib, varying the line weights of illustration pins. These are the Faber-Castell Pitt pins, and I will be sure to link everything that I use as usual in the description box below. If you are thinking about illustrating, I really recommend these pins. They're made out of India ink. They have a lot of different nib sizes, and that's permanent ink. So it dries permanent, and you don't have to worry about that, about, coloring over the top of it with something, which I'm going to do, just to prove to you that you don't have to worry about this ink. This ink gets on there and it stays. The piece of paper I'm using is a mixed media paper from the Canson mixed media pad. And what I'm going to color with is alcohol markers. The ones that I have are the Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, and I have a pretty extensive group of them. And I've made all these charts when I got them. And what I figured out as I was trying to color match, I wanted to use the same colors as in the background. So I got out my color swatches to try to match something on that coral. And I had a pretty good match, but then I realized that my chart has faded. So I found out, without doing any research at all, that alcohol markers are not color fast. I didn't know that. Now I know. So as I'm going along, you'll see me like recharting some of these just to make sure that I have the color that I want, because what I have on my sheet isn't what comes out of the pen now, which is sad. I should go redo them all, but I only just kind of redid the ones I was using. But I am still using it to pick the tone of my markers so that they match my background. I want, kind of a coral, something similar to that blushing color that I made. And so I found a few colors. The way that I'm doing it is to take the darkest color. I pick 2 or 3 colors that it coordinate, and then I take the darkest color, write it around the outside or in the shadowy areas of the thing, and then take the medium color, go over it, then take the lightest color and fill in what's left. And that's a pretty common, I think, way of using alcohol markers. They're blendy. They're supposed to blend very well with each other, so you can get your shadows and highlights pretty easily by using this type of a marker. And like I said before, I'm trying to use some of the things on this challenge that I don't use every day. I've barely used these markers. I have this huge set that my friend got me for Christmas maybe 2 years ago now, and I haven't used them that much. So it's nice to get something out and play with it. So as I'm going, I'm picking the colors off my chart. Then I go over to my rack. I pull out the pens that I think I want. I color them in onto my chart again to make sure that they're still the same color and they haven't, faded a lot. Because I don't want it to come out darker than I intended. And then I color using the method of darkest medium and then light, or in some cases just medium and light. If it's like a really small area, I don't use 3 markers. But the bigger, like the elephant, I'm using 3 colors of gray. There's a lot of grays in this set, and some of them are warm and some of them are cool. And so I had to pick the ones that I thought would be the right color for an elephant. Probably should have went more to the warmer side because an elephant's probably actually a pretty warm, almost brown gray color. But I didn't. I used the cooler ones because those are the colors that I like. I tend to like cooler colors in dark stuff. So I don't know. It's just the way I am. So the elephant is having fun. He's got his scrub brush in his hand, his paw, his foot. I don't know. And he's blowing some water out of his trunk. And he's got bubbles. He's got a ducky. I'm coloring the ducky. And the peanuts. He's got peanuts scattered around, and then the little mouse is peeking out from behind the barrel, thinking about stealing some of those peanuts. I just thought it was a cute idea. A cute cake, cute idea. That's why I decided to do it. Besides, I watched it, and then I had to do the page named Elephant, and I said, hey, I just saw an elephant. What was that elephant? Oh, yeah, it was a cake. So that's how it went. Sometimes I think much deeper about these things. This one was simple to come up with an idea since I had just seen the cake. So I use the green color pretty sparingly. I've got a green brush, and then I use the green in the elephant's eyes, and that's about all the green there is. I probably should have come up with something else on the illustration to be green because there's quite a bit of that light green in the background. But, you know, it's fine. There's each color from the background is represented in the coloring. So now I'm trying to pick a teal color to go with the background, and I'm going to use this on the water squirting out of the elephant's trunk, and also the bubbles. So I picked 2 colors, a darker and a lighter, and I color in the background of the water with the darker color, and then I color in the bubbles with the lighter color. But then I end up putting some white back in by using a white Posca pen at the end because I think the bubbles are too blue when I get done with it. So I also end up putting this color of tealish blue around the bottom part of the barrel, but that happens later. I realize I need some sort of a background where the peanuts are. And I figure the water probably splashed out a little bit, so those are probably some soggy peanuts at this point. So for the browns that I pick, I end up picking these very cool browns, almost faded, which I really enjoyed. I wished I had to paint that color actually. Kind of almost a grayish brown. And I'm starting with the darkest one, and I filled in between the slats with the dark one, and then I'm just kind of going through and flicking some of this color through the shapes and making kind of a wood grain look just by flicking that color through. And then I come back in with the lighter color and go over everything with that, and it just kind of gives that wood grain look without too much fussing. I didn't go and, draw a bunch of wood grain lines or anything. I just did it with the colors of the markers. And I think it looks pretty good. I can tell it's supposed to be wood, so I'm happy with it. But I didn't go real dark because, everything else is a real pastel color, so it didn't make sense to go super dark. So I thought it turned out well. Then I come back in with the grays again and do the straps of the barrel. I think they would be metal, so I thought, using the same grays again would be a good idea to get everything to coordinate. And then here I am doing the little bit of blue around the peanuts at the bottom. And I do blend that with a real light blue, which hardly even shows up. Not quite sure what that color is for. It's almost clear. It's not much there on that color. So once all my coloring is done, I go back in with some white highlights with the white Posca pen, mostly on the bubbles and then a few places here and there because I like it. I like bright white highlights and I like my Posca pen. I think I would pretty much expire if I didn't have my white Posca pen. I know a lot of people are into those Signaball pens, but I really like the white Posca. Even though sometimes it splatters a little bit, I'm okay with that. Oh yeah, I do go in and draw some lines, some highlight lines in the slats too, which make even more dimension on that, which I think turned out very nicely. So then I cut it out, and I'm not cutting up right to the line. I'm cutting with kind of a 1/8 of an inch white border all the way around because I didn't want to cut the black lines off. So I just decided to go with that. Then I'm attaching it to my page using Liquitex Matte Gel Medium. That's the gel formula. And my new glue brush, it's a Tim Holtz Distress glue brush, which I'm really enjoying. My only critique is that they should have made the handle plastic because it is a wooden handle and you know I'm going to leave it in the water and it's going to get warped. Somebody suggested just wrapping it with some duct tape and I thought that was a really good idea. I might do that. So then once that's all dry, then I need to finish up the page with some words. And I decide to draw in my words. Where did I go? Oh, there I am. I forgot the little orange beak. I had to color that. Drawing the words first with my my graphite pencil because I wanted to make sure that everything was centered, and of course it wasn't, so then I had to erase. And the thing about writing with graphite over acrylic paint is that it does not erase well. It really doesn't. So you can, in some of the close-ups, you can still see where I had erased. I probably should go back in and erase it again. I was in a hurry and I didn't realize there was a little bit of graphite left on there. But then I go over my words with my black fine tip Posca pen and I write over them first and then I go back and darken up some of the areas with the Posca pen to make those words at the top stand out more. Splish splash, I was taking a bath. So that's it for elephant. Yeah, I think it's cute. It's very childish and that's okay. I don't have to be an adult every day. I thought the cake was adorable. I think this is adorable. I will try to remember to put a link to the video where she makes the cake. And you can watch that if you want to, if you're into baking videos. And hopefully I will remember to do it. I'm kind of mass editing at this point, and so I'm going out of town. I'm actually traveling right now as you watch this. So I hope I remember. Anyway, that's it for me. I'll see you on my video tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.